So today we're going to chop up. We're going to crack the jackfruit code. Isn't that an interesting thing? There's a code to everything, isn't there? Codes, programs, numbers, sacred geometry. You know, it's all connected. Just saying. So this big 18, 19 pound jackfruit started cracking. And I haven't had jackfruit in a while. And I used to get jackfruit all the time. So I got this down in Tampa on sale for 50 cents a pound. So this is going to be messy. I already know that. But it is definitely ripe and ready. It's actually like, if you've ever had breadfruit, like this is how messy this is. Look at this. I'm literally able to squeeze off. And the thing is because it comes from the latex family, you see how messy that is? Yeah, let's go messy. And the thing is, it's really helpful to have some coconut oil on hand in case all the latex gets on you, because you need something to oily get it off your hands. So, I hope this is going to be a good jackfruit. I mean, I just took it for granted that I should be able to get something out of this. So it cost me $9 essentially. And sometimes, ooh, hello. I might even, I've never cut it up from the outside in like this. Usually what I do is I go down the center, cut it up so that I can pull out the pods of fruit. Here's an example. It's got a funky smell to it, I'll just say that right now. Normally the jackfruit will make the whole house smell like a juicy fruit gum, because juicy fruit gum is where got their flavor and name pretty much from the jackfruit, in case you didn't know. Things that make you go, edumacation tonight. So depending on what kind of jackfruit you get, like this is less peachy. I'm used to more orange. These are going to need to be cut up anyway, but what I like to do, because every jackfruit is different, if it's soft on the end, ooh, that's like kind of goopy. Hey there. Tell me where you're tuning in from, what you got going on tonight. And right inside of this pod is the seed, is the jackfruit seed. It doesn't smell horrible. Normally it smells really sweet. So here's what the jackfruit seed looks like. Tell me that's not cool. Kind of looks like a seed. I'm gonna throw it in the compost. Maybe I'll end up with a jackfruit out in my pile, because I compost everything. It was almost like it was a little harder. All right, I forgot to get a bowl, so I gotta put this in a bowl. I got a big bowl in here, so it's hard to say how much will come out of this. So we'll see. It's gonna be quite the chore. Sometimes it can take a while to get this whole thing done, but oopsie. Because they're real sticky. When it starts oozing out the latex, it can get real messy. Typically what I do is I coat my knife with coconut oil. So since that's where we're going with this, I'm gonna have to adjust myself here. Alrighty, coconut oil. It's a little chilly here, so you can tell how cold it is when the coconut oil is not really liquidy here. All right, let me know where you're tuning in from. What you got on your mind on this Saturday night? What you got going on? All right. So you take the coconut oil and just, I mean, it helps also coat your fingers, just so you don't have like the white goop, because when that latex gets on your fingers, it can be really messy. All right. It just makes it easier. Dang, I haven't done this in a while. I was like, well, I might as well go live because you know what? There's some people out there probably never even seen a jackfruit before, let alone cut it up. I got something on my face. Let me know in the comments if you've ever had a jackfruit. And if you have, jackfruit tacos. What are the different ways you've had jackfruit? Juicy fruit gum. Have you had juicy fruit gum? That'll give you some insight into what the flavor's like. Yeah, this is gonna be kind of messy. All right, here we go. I gotta pull off all this skin. Do the best I can, at least. I'm gonna have to cut some of it. So when you buy it in the can, it's not the ripened fruit as much as it is this other part that's between. It's like the fiber. So different cultures use, like this part is typically what you'll find in the can. I just throw it in the compost. I don't, this is a lot of jackfruit. I'm not gonna be doing all that. So, alrighty. Doing the best I can getting this part off. So, you know, yeah, this is, sometimes the fruit is gonna be really white and sometimes the fruit's gonna be really orange. It varies. So this is a different, I think the different varieties, and it could be the different times of season too. They do grow over in the Miami area. Hey there, how you doing tonight? I'm cutting up a jackfruit. Not to be confused with the durian. Durian's the one that stinks. So typically when I buy these, usually my house smells really juicy, like juicy fruit gum. And I only just got this a couple days ago and I knew it was gonna have to get cut soon. I really wasn't in the mood to cut it tonight, but I'm like, there is no holding back on this because if I let this go, you know, between fruit flies and ants and who knows what, because here in Florida, it's amazing how the critters will find their way to your food. So, and just be really careful if you put coating. Like I said, you got to put some form of oil on your hands so that you're not sticking to everything. And when you're cutting, be really cautious because it's going to be slippery. And you don't want to cut yourself or the knife. Oh, here we go. Here's a piece of fruit. Again, more seed. So I spent the day with my dad. My dad's so funny. Love my dad. He's got such a humor. Ooh, this doesn't look so great. It's got a little black spot on it. Well, that was interesting. There's all sorts of interesting noises going on in my house today. Anyway. How is everyone faring with these interesting energies and times? It's always nice to have company when you're doing something like this. Messy! It's definitely messy. Oh my goodness. I thought this was going to be a little easier given the circumstances, but it's proving to me that it's going to be a little bit more laborious tonight. Ugh. And it's a little slippery. I'm just trying to get the, here we go. Okay, that's what I needed to get. I needed to get the top of it off. So this isn't necessarily a good thing when it looks like that. Boy, this is messy already. I'm kind of bummed out. I should have started cutting this sooner. But, you know, you're going to get what you can out of it. Do the best you can with what you got. And even if there's a couple bad ones, doesn't mean the whole thing will be bad. At least that's my hoping. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, that's not good either. Let me know if you've ever cut up a jackfruit. Yeah, that's not looking good. It's looking kind of moldy. Oh, I know, right? Blessed to have chosen and be chosen. Well, we are the chosen, right? We chose to be chosen because we chose ourselves to be chosen. We get past all that duality of this or that or somebody or separation. We are that. We are always seeking ourselves, right? The idea that we are seeking some higher power than us is really just an illusion because it is us. It's not. And the thing is we do need each other for mirroring to recognize that the other is you and that the other is God and you are God. Without seeing that in another, how could we recognize it in ourselves and vice versa? Technically, you should see it in yourself first. It's easier to see it in another. What you're able to accept and own in yourself is easier to accept and own in others. All right, this is really sticky. Forgot how messy this thing gets. Oh yeah, my hands are already sticky. This is not pretty. I doubt you'll want to stick through this the entire time because this is messy. That's why I was asking if you've ever cut a jackfruit. You got to have a big sink if you're going to be doing it in your sink. I don't like to do it outside the sink because it's going to just get sticky on everything anyway. All right, let's see if I can go down the center. Usually what I try to do is go down the center because then I can get it from the sides instead of... No. Not in there. Yeah, because there's the core down the center, and I try to go around the core. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. I can tell I haven't done this in a while. There was a time when I was doing a whole lot more recipes, and those of you who have followed me for a while, because I was on a different channel than this, literally starting all over, trying to rebuild my platform. And my other platform, I had quite the following because I used to do a lot more raw vegan recipes, right? So there's people who were following me for the recipes, I guess. I don't know. What interests you? Oh my goodness. Wow, God bless you, you know? We see it. We see it. We all have some experience that brings us closer to the divine source of who we are, right? I don't know. I have no fear of death because I know that it's just a transition. That's one thing I've learned throughout the course of my life. That death is just some construct, that the body is the only thing that transitions, and we, our souls, our essence, transition into another dimension. My goodness, this is thick. I'm having a hard time getting through this because my knife's not, it's kind of slippery. Doing the best I can. And this thing, boy, it's laborious. I'm having to work at this. I didn't expect to have to work this hard tonight. I thought it was going to be a lot easier. That's why I thought, I'll go live. Now I'm thinking, my gosh, you're all going to think I'm a weakling over here. 18 pounds. 18 pounds, just remember that. Do you know that the jackfruit, it's the heaviest fruit-bearing tree of all fruit, from my understanding and my research. And if you know of anything else other than that, let me know. I don't think so. I've done a little bit of research on this one. You would think that would be already the way cut through. It's not. Oh. shouldn't be this exhausting. And this is a ceramic knife, so I'm not trying to break it either. So I'm trying to go straight up and down and all around it. Ugh! Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. Let's break that apart. Okay, that part came apart. Getting a workout tonight. Didn't expect that. All right, so these are lighter. It's kind of more of a yellowish. I'm going to have to just rinse them all when I'm done because this is going to be so messy from what I'm doing. Let's do this. So I like to just trim it up and get rid of the seed, and there's like where the seed attaches to the fruit because it's kind of chewy and gets caught in your teeth. Now you can cook the fruit. I have made curries using the fruit, like a banana curry, which was really yummy, by the way. This is not, I don't think this one's going to be super sweet like the ones I'm used to from already tasting it. I'm going to cut off any dark spots that don't look so great. I used to love juicy fruit gum when I was a kid. So it's funny, when I found this and I first tasted it, I was like, oh, it tastes like juicy fruit gum. And then I looked it up and it said, guess what? They got the flavor from juicy fruit gum. For the juicy fruit gum from the jackfruit. You know, it's a funny thing about man. We copy nature. Nothing's really original. Everything from the architecture and the sacred geometry in nature, nature is what inspires us. So I don't know why people have a hard time wrapping their heads around the idea that man is not God, even though man's trying to play God, trying to run the show and tell us, each other, you know, nobody likes to be told what to do, right? It's human nature to rebel against any form of authority that tries to put their thumb on you, right? I'm sure that there's not one person out there who hasn't dealt with some form of oppositional defiance, some rebel against being told, because it's nature. It's our true nature to question anything that is not in alignment with our own personal truth. Yeah, this might not be as ripe as I was hoping, but at the same time, the external of this is definitely ripe. No question in my mind. But anywhere it looks like it's dark or not so good, I'm cutting off. Because there's plenty of it. There's plenty of this fruit for sure. And you can use the seeds too. You can use the seeds and cook them up as well. A lot of people don't realize that. The seeds are nutritious. But you have to cook them. You have to bake and boil or whatever. I know there's a lot of Indian restaurants, or not restaurants, recipes using the seeds. I have friends who have used you can buy green jackfruit in the can. In fact, my dad and I were at, I'm not a big fan of Trader Joe's. Let me just say that. I don't know if anybody finds there's anything at Trader Joe's that you find good. I read all my labels and ingredients, and the only thing I've ever found there was produce, and even then it's very limited. So Trader Joe's is not on my priority list of places to shop. Even sometimes, like, I prefer going to the markets, because when it comes down to it, you want to know who your local farmers are and grocers, like who's actually growing your food. If it has to be shipped in, think about all that time. The food's denatured. The food's losing its nutrients over the time it's being transported. But we're so spoiled. And so, you know, when you look at what's going on in the world, I think people are starting to realize you need to respect your truck drivers. They're the ones who make it possible to get your goodies, you know, especially if you're somewhere like here in Florida. There's certain times of the year food has to be trucked in because it's not seasonal here. Greens are a great example, like salad greens and things like that. They usually come from up north. And as a result of that, we rely on the truckers, because if it weren't for the truck drivers, your goods wouldn't get delivered. My stepdad was a truck driver. My mom used to go down the road all the time. My grandfather had a trucking company. I have a huge respect for the truckers because I grew up around it. And I see the hard life it is. I know because I saw my I saw my stepdad. I saw my mom. We were on the truck. We would go out on the road. So you have to have had experience to know what it's like and not assume or take it for granted, which I think a lot of us have, because when you have everything handed to you, entitlement falls in, right? So we get complacent because we don't realize how easy we really have it. And this is where we're at in the world right now, right? So, that wasn't good. So this is a time of reevaluating your life. Like, what in your life could you not go without? What is it that's a priority to you? I mean, a lot of people, what I've been observing in the world, because I'm the silent observer, I like to witness, I like to watch. Because I've noticed that even for myself, I'm watching from a perspective of, you know, it's a reflection of me too. And I have to confront even in myself, like, what would happen if everything came to a standstill and you didn't have access to all the goodies you're used to having? You know, I don't know that I believe in stockpiling. I think that hoarding is a big problem in this country to begin with. In this world, we've gotten to a point where, oh my gosh, you know, you better save up for a rainy day, you know, like the whole fear mentality, when we should be taking care of one another. And that if you're taking care of your neighbor and everybody's got resources you can pool together, not be anybody without anything. You know, back in the day, they used to barter. You used to go to your neighbor, hey, I got chickens. Hey, I've got vegetables. I've got fruits. And that's the way it's supposed to be, you know. Be a good neighbor. Take care of one another. Because it's kind of like that old adage, you know, if you don't take care of your neighbors and they're not taking care of you, at some point, you know, you start to realize, oh my gosh, I think I might need some help. And if you're unwilling to ask for it or offer, you know, a helping hand as well, you know, do unto others as you would want done unto you. Like, we got to know who we are living around. Some people don't even know their neighbors. Isn't that crazy? When you don't know your neighbors? And that's part of that distrust that's going on in the world, you know? You have to learn to trust yourself. And when you know yourself so well and you can trust yourself, then you can pretty much delineate and discern with those around you. By knowing thyself, you can see the reflection of where you've been in others. You can recognize, oh, I remember what that was like. You know, you start to be more attuned and acutely aware of what's going on in your surroundings, in your environment, with the people in your life. And you know, when you're connected deeply with somebody, you even feel the sense of, ooh, I need to call so-and-so. Something is telling me to reach out. That's when your intuition gets heightened, when you are so tapped into yourself that you even notice the things that are going on with those of you closest to you. Some of us have that spidey sense, the deep connection with self, deep connection with our families, our friends. Unfortunately, this is not so far the best jackfruit as far as smell, and it's definitely not sweet, sweet. I was hoping for a sweeter treat than this, but it's okay. I'm gonna do the best with what I got here. I may be making tacos, jackfruit tacos. That's not too difficult to do. You can do that with these too. It's all about stepping outside your comfort zone, try something new. If you've never worked with it, try it anyway, if you like it. If you like it. Sometimes you try something at a restaurant and you're like, oh my gosh, I'd like to try making that myself. So, but where we're at in the world today, where are we at? Where are you at? Do you notice what's going on in your life and around you? Are you really tapped in and tuned into the energies of what, you know, like what's coming up in your life, what's bubbling up for you? I've just been in my own little deep reflective mode myself, where I am constantly trying to reevaluate and go deeper and deeper, because I'm a deep researcher. I like to know things, and I like to really go deep into the things that some people don't even want to have conversations about. I mean, I don't have a problem with being wrong. I want to learn. I want to explore. I want more out of this life. Like, who said we can't go past the Antarctic Circle? Like, this whole ice wall thing. Like, who wants to go on an adventure? Because I don't see a problem with it. If anybody wants to go check it out, I'm curious. Hey, you know, curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. That's my mindset. I've always wanted to go further. I feel like there's something beyond that ice wall. I believe there's another world. I think that there's a whole other civilization. Possibly the ones that got sick of this stuff, you know? But you don't know until you go out of your comfort zone, right? Let's see, how are we gonna do this? This is just one small piece of this. You see all these, there's pods all around it. So it requires cutting around the core. The core is what it attaches to. So, oh, here we go. Now that's easier. And when you get the pods off, you got to clean off all this fiber, which is what holds it in place. I might even make a curry with this. I haven't done the banana curry in a while. That was really good. I'm sure I got the recipe written down somewhere. That's the joke in my family. I made the best. And my sister and I always smile like, did you write it down? Damn it. Maybe not. But we have a tendency, the way that we cook in my family is we go by, what would taste good? We tap into our senses. What smells, what tastes, what flavors, what would be most appealing. Okay. And the other thing is the smell of coconut is wafting in this too, because there's coconut coating on the knives, and some of the jackfruit's coated in it. So I'm cutting off anything that has a dark, kind of like that. I think the jackfruit got a little over-ripened. And then some of the areas were starting to kind of, I want to say mold. Fermenting, technically, if you really want to look at it from the fruit side of the house. Look at that. 30 minutes in, and I am like not even putting a dent in this thing. I'm just telling you right now. It takes a lot of work and patience to do this. But I knew if I don't do it tonight, it's gonna be worse tomorrow. Because once these fruits, they start to ripen and turn, they can go really bad really quickly. Just like anything. I have taken jackfruit and done kombucha with it long time ago, but they were more the pink, like the bright orange, so it's a lot sweeter. Yep, here we go. Dog, I wonder if the dog would eat this. He eats a lot of stuff. He's already eaten his dinner for tonight, so he's gotten his treats. Happiest dog in the neighborhood. Oh my gosh, this is so messy. Love to know what you're doing on a Saturday night. The weather down here in Florida just shifted again. It's kind of funky outside. It's like a heavy energy just kind of densely fell in. It's not bad. I mean, it's just kind of like, okay, just feel like staying close to home. I was wanting to do more today, but it just wasn't happening. I'm trying to get past, you know, certain times you get not so motivated. I go through my funks. I just want you all to know you're not alone, that whatever you're going through in life, we all have ups and downs, ins and outs, and like we're all navigating these times. Like seriously, I mean, ultimately, we're just trying to do the best we can with what we got. And when we have a bad day, we just acknowledge it and go, tomorrow will be better. And you can look in the mirror and go, you know, you're choosing this. And there's nothing wrong with having a bad day or a down day or a self-care, recognizing your funk. Because the only way you're ever going to get over things is to go through them. So we have to acknowledge whatever we're going through so that we don't keep re-experiencing the same traumas and fears, the melancholy. Like the more present we are with something, the quicker and faster it moves through. Because energy is meant to stay in motion. And when we hold on to things or resist, see, resistance is a form of holding on to something. Most people won't recognize that because they think, oh, I don't want to deal with this, so I'll just ignore it or I'll suppress it. And in all essence, you're just making it like that ball you're trying to push under the water. It just keeps coming back stronger and stronger, faster and faster, and more powerful. So we really want to be able to release what no longer serves. Let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. You know, there's no coincidence. There's these songs, but when I say let it go, I mean just allow it to leave and release. Because the pushing away or the resisting the feeling is just as powerful as creating more of it. So we really need to be more mindful of how we avoid, how we deny whatever's coming up for us. Because where attention goes, energy flows, and that's conscious attention and unconscious attention. You know, if you're somebody who comfort eats, I want you to be mindful of your thoughts when you're going to eat, because sometimes what we do is you go into a self-sabotage mode and you're already negative self-talking. If you're in that space of like, I'm just in a shitty mood, I'm just going to eat this because I know it's not good for me. Like if your negative self-talk is like really nasty, that's not serving the food, it's not nourishing your body, because everything begins in the mind. So if your food is not going to nourish you if your mind is already criticizing it. Just be mindful of that. Oh, that is not good. That's no good. Some of these are definitely no good, which really kind of stinks. I hate to waste food. But maybe it'll help nature, because I got that big compost pile out back. And so I have squirrels out back. I got the birds, whatever else shows up. Come on, you. Get out of there. There we go. So, you know, the cycle of life. That's the beauty of composting, is I know I get to give back to the earth so that it renourishes, and it goes through that cycle of giving back. You know, every day I go by the Escape Root Juicery and I pick up the coffee grinds and I throw it in my compost pile. And then I have my own little compost container inside that I dump out there regularly to mix around. It's what we call the humus. You need to have the mixes of the different bacteria, food, nutrients. The earth is amazing, right? When we give her whatever we give her, she turns into gold. She changes it, she transforms it. Even the crappy toxic stuff that man makes, Mother Nature's going to clean house no matter what in the end. So we need to trust more in our own personal nature and also nature itself, because our nature is intricately interwoven with nature. It's a symbiotic relationship. We cannot deny nature and our own true nature. And I'm not talking about the animalistic nature. I'm talking about our soul's essence, our true nature to nurture, because we are all nurturers. Even at times when it feels like we're just surviving, eventually we switch over and we get back to the thriving. And in thriving, we nurture. So again, we're always coming from a place of love or fear. Survival is the fear mode. Love is the thrival mode. And so you have to really, every once in a while, remind yourself, check yourself, ask yourself, am I in survival or thrival? Am I coming from fear or love? Are my needs getting met? Or am I trying to force something on myself or others? Being radically honest with ourselves makes it easier so that others can't take advantage of us. Because you need to be able to be honest with yourself so that you can recognize the honesty around you. Whether someone's lying to you or not, you can see through that. I hope I can use this for something. So I might actually end up cooking this up and making a, like I said, either a curry or a jackfruit taco mix. I'm kind of disappointed this is not the best jackfruit. I'm just going to say that right now, because there's a lot of bad spots coming on this, and unfortunately I'm not crazy about all this mess, and it happens. You know, it's not always easy to pick a jackfruit. I've never picked a bad jackfruit, so this is my first time dealing with one that's got so many spots on the fruit, and it broke through it's not as yellow. I'm a little pouty on this one, people. Might not have been my best jackfruit moment for sure. Maybe I'll go back and see if I can find another one. I can't return this. This particular grocery place, they're not really big on returns, which is fine. I mean, I'm over it in that respect. It's just really a lot of mess. You know, you want it to be worth it if you're going to cut this big bad boy up. So some of my favorite fruits, what are some of yours? One of my favorite fruits, my dad and I were talking about Portugal because we've always wanted to go over there and find a home. I've always wanted to live in Portugal. I love, this is the time of year for, well, we're kind of almost out of the persimmon season. I love persimmons because they are just so full of fiber and so sweet and yummy. I can make a meal out of persimmons and be happy for the night. The other things I like are figs. Figs are one of my favorites. Sapotes, 𝑧𝒍𝒄𝒚. I love me some sapote. And you got to get a really good one, and they're really like, once they turn, you got to get them just right. Oh shoot, I'm throwing them in the wrong one. Whoopsie. I'm over here just tossing the good stuff in the compost already. All right, let's see what we can do here. So that was only like a quarter of it so far. This is crazy. Nobody said it was going to be easy, but that's life, right? Who came up with the idea of a jackfruit? You know, like, how did they open it back in the day? Like, you know, this is the cool thing about fruit and vegetables and food is, like, who was the first person to crack open a jackfruit? To, like, go, ooh, this is a good food to eat. Ugh, I didn't like that taste. Oh my gosh. You know what? I'm already feeling like this jackfruit is already a wash. That says a lot for me because, yeah, I'm not a big fan of like a bad jackfruit. Like, that would not be cool. I mean, seriously, I was really hoping for a good jackfruit, and I don't want to spend all night cutting up a jackfruit that's gross. So this video, I'm trying to show you how to cut up a jackfruit, and unfortunately, it's not my best jackfruit. I'm not even sure I really want to eat any of this. Don't force it. That's all I'm saying. This is the thing about life. Life shouldn't be forced. You shouldn't force yourself to eat anything you don't like or do anything you don't like or something that doesn't resonate with you. Like, if it isn't in alignment with you, don't do it. Because the only person you got to blame in the end is you for doing something you didn't want to do. Right? I think I might end up being, like, tossing this. That's kind of where this is looking. I can tell you oh man, really? You're hearing the splish splash in the sink. This isn't the prettiest. Nope. Y'all, I just don't think I feel like doing this. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think this is going to work for me. This is going out in the compost. I mean, seriously. Oh, wait a minute. Let me get the other side. Because maybe the other side's better. This one kind of looks like a piece that might be good. Let's test this piece. Because this piece has a little bit more of like a translucent, like it should. It's a little deeper of a yellow orange. That's a little closer. Hold on. Yep, that's no good. Some of this is definitely no good, that's for sure. I just have to chalk it up and accept it. I've just never had it this way before, so I'm doing the best I can. So a little bit more translucent. I'll tell you in a second if this is any good. Let's do. Smells better. Looks more like it should. Hold on a minute. Semi. So far, not crazy about it. Yeah. Yeah, so far not so great. It's a sad night. I don't think this is gonna make it. I think it's gonna end up in my compost pile. This is not pretty. Nope, not at all. Not good. Let's see. I was really hoping for better than this. As they say, hope for the best. Yeah, no, this isn't good. This is not too good. I don't see any of this being any salvageable. Okay. Well, that's where we're at with the jackfruit. Jackfruit is a wash. And not in a good way. Which really stinks. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining. Thanks for sticking around. I am now going to clean up this mess and stick it out in my compost pile. So that was my exciting video for the evening. Maybe I'll go do another video about something else. This was not what I was anticipating. I wanted to share something exciting. Really, not a sad jackfruit face. Hey, like I said, the critters out back might be happier than I am. Yeah, here you go. Or they may turn around and not give a shit and not touch it. All right. So tell me, what would you do? It's going in the compost. It's going in the compost. All right, so Saturday night vibes. What are you up to? Let me know. Have you ever had jackfruit? I guarantee it was better than this. At least I hope so. Because all it takes is one bad experience, and that's everything in life. Like, have you ever had a bad experience with something, and then you were like, okay, I'm not going to do that again, right? So if you have some bad experience, you kind of got to have that 3-strike try. You know, first time was a test. Second time was just kind of like leaning into it, going, maybe I was wrong. Maybe something will prove me wrong. You know, maybe it'll be better. And the third time, it's like it confirms one way or the other. I think it's because of the positive, the negative, and the neutral minds, if you really think about it. Like, we always want to give everything an opportunity to prove itself to us, or to show up and to see if it resonates. And then there's the, well, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. And then we kind of weigh it out and go, yeah, no, that's okay. It doesn't work for me. And that's how life is. 3 strikes, you're out, right? It either works, it doesn't work, and you'll figure it out in the end, because that's what life is about. We're always navigating. Which road are we taking? Are we choosing this or that? Or can we choose the middle path? Because the middle way is the neutral way. It's the one that doesn't get you into trouble. Being in awareness. Yes, we have to discern. Sometimes we do have to take a certain path. But we're not here to force anything. We're not here to prove ourselves that we have to choose something because other people choose it. So just because something works for some people doesn't mean it'll work for you. You got to tap into your inner knowing. That's when you know it's true. Because your truth is only going to be felt in your body. And that's why they use kinesiology. So, on that note, I'm going to go dump this in my compost. And you all have a wonderful evening. Lots of love. And enjoy your evening.